Hello everybody, this is Debbie from Deb's Things. This is my long-awaited bracelet I've been talking to some of you about on Instagram and maybe even in the comments section on YouTube that I've been waiting to make until I felt up to it. This was a bracelet of great frustration because I kept placing the bands incorrectly and I'd go to pull it off and it all fell apart. And so, in a determination, this was my practice piece, I devised a way to keep it all together and thought I came up with a pretty innovative way to make lemonade out of a lemon bracelet, and hopefully you will agree. I call this bracelet CRATER, and it's hard to see on camera, but there's a lot of, well, kind of crater-like indentations in this design. It's quite thick, and I did a double extension on it. This is one loom's length, and it does, you know, go across the top of my wrist fairly well, but I know most of you like to make it full length, and you all pretty much know how to do that if you have a couple of 2 or more looms. So anyhow, let's get going. We were going to need 5 bars set up in this way. The center, the third, 1, 2, 3, the center bar is up 1 pin, and the first, second, fourth, and fifth are parallel to each other, and the center is 1 up. For the main color A, I used white here, which, by the way, my 11-year-old daughter loved this so much. She's got dibs on this bracelet, and she does not ask for too many of my bracelets. The only other one she's asked for of my designs is petals, and I haven't made her yet because all I had was, haven't made one for her yet because I only have my sample, but she wants it the exact same color. So this one is hers after I'm done my demonstration, my tutorial, and let's get going. First color, the main color A, I'm going to use this pastel pink. It's actually the camouflage pink, the paler of the pinks in the camouflage colors. Using that. Colors B and C are the red and blue metallics. I'm going to be using black and white. And the silver, as you can see, woven in and out of here, I am going to be using metallic gold, just this simpler band from the mixed metallics, not one of the specialty silicone bands, which are thicker, and I'm not sure how that would work in this design. So let's get going. I should mention that when I saw Looming Roach's Reese's bracelet, I was really impressed of some of the looping techniques she did, which are similar to my quote-unquote salvation looping technique I came up with to salvage this bracelet because I was so tired. It was a couple weeks ago, and I, kind of had a long run here of making videos, and that's doing more than my normal laying around all day activities, and my body just kind of crapped out on me, and I've been on the sofa for most of the time. But I used the time to make some of your bracelets where I didn't have to think about being the designer. I guess it'd be more like doing, I like to do grown-up coloring sometimes, getting those more adult coloring books and using colored pencils and shading and making it a much more elaborate coloring, as opposed to doing my own oil painting, which takes a lot more thought. And I have enjoyed every bracelet. I'm trying to post that on Instagram as I can, but I love all of them. I try to pick ones out that inspire me and Otherwise Touch Me, and there's so many of them, I couldn't possibly do them all. But anyhow, I hope you like what I made. I'm kind of been in a slump in choosing perfect color combinations. I used to be really good at that, and now I'm losing my confidence. So anyways, let's get on to business. This heavier design, if you're going to make an extension, I recommend the double. I think it looks a lot nicer. Just ignore that. That's a little whoops here. But the double extension, I think, works nicely. And I already made this video doing this bracelet, but I realized I didn't like this end because it's too out of balance, so I realized what I needed to do, so now I'm starting the video all over again so that I make it look more balanced. So I'm putting 2 bands here because those will be the first of my extension, and then we are simply going to place our color A. Oops. This one I have my design going up. I think that's just so I have one less band clumping up on this end of it. And so you're going to go all the way up this side. I'll just do it real quick, and then we'll do the other side. We'll take it to the end. One here, and then down to that center. And now we're going to do the same on this side. Now I usually cut off, turn the camera off to do this, but these are so quick. We put on, the first time I made it, I think I made about 10 breaks in starting, because there are a lot of steps to this. It's not really hard to do, it's just has quite a few bands. So I call this band A1 because it's color A, first color, and it's the first sequence of band. So that's A1. Now B and C are pretty much going to be the same. This first set first, this initial one, I have to put, I'm just putting like, I'm putting like this because right here, see, I had started up here, which I will show you, but there's this big gap here. So by placing these this way, which is going to be a little different than the other ones, it's going to bring the color down and break up some of this white. So this is the only one that is going to be like this. And then you will take alternating colors, and if you want to do like a rainbow effect or 3 colors, and only in this one you're going to also do it on this, from this center pin. And that's so we can, break up all the color A down at this end, kind of like a congestion of color. But as you see, I went from the center pin here to the 1, 2, 3rd pin, and then 4th pin. So we'll just keep following that sequence all the way up. To the loom. Okay, I will go off camera here to finish this, since I think I've shown you enough. And when you get up to right around here where you can get your last sequence that looks, you know, can go from this pin to this pin to this one. Just wait and I'll show you how to finish off the very last couple of these B and C color bands. I actually like these colors better than this last demonstration I did, which you'll never see because I've deleted it. These were really, really hard to see, at least from looking into my camera's little screen there. But as you can see, the last one we did here was the color, the B color. So go over it. These were A1, B2, B3, C4, C5. That's how I keep reference of what the bands are. And since when they repeat themselves, I just, you know, I'm not going to keep numbering them up to 150. So all these are the B2 bands, B3, and so that's how I like to reference them. And it gives me some order in my mind. And so now the last one, you have this little V to finish off, so take whatever color you're doing next. In this case, it'll be C, or my white color, and just make a V. Now, so we are looking for what next? Okay, so that was C5. Now we're going to go into the D color. And so this was C5, so the next in the sequence would be D6 and D7. D6 and D7. And we're going to do this all the way up. Very simple. I probably only have to show you a couple of 2-3 rows. There's definitely want to keep pushing these down because especially rows 2 and 4, a lot of the bands get looped to those pins. So you will just do this all the way up the loom. Okay, very easy. D6, D7. Okay, so here are our D color bands, D6 and D7, all the way up to these pins here. Now we are going to put a bunch of A colors here, there, and everywhere. The first thing we're going to do is, these are A8, right? Color A, step 8. We'll do these all the way up. I'll just do these real quickly and probably take a break after I show you the next sequence. Actually, I don't know, maybe I'll just keep going because they're all very easy to do, very quick. But there's quite a few steps in looping all this back. And then the second to the last step was my saving grace, which is kind of interesting, is because did I already say this at the beginning? I might have. I forget because I just chatted with you making this design just an hour ago. Now I'm doing it again, so I don't remember what I said or didn't say, which one it went to, but Looming Roach's Reese bracelet, amazing complex design. One of the bands she looped, or a couple of them she looped, kind of made me think of this particular band that I decided to do. You know, what the heck, let's just give it a try, and I'll be darned if I have all these bands come flying off this loom and unravel on me again. So I will show you that when we get to it. So now we are going to take more A's. This is step A9. and we'll be going straight up. Why don't I just tell you, and then I can get off camera. We're going to go straight up row 2, straight up row 4. We're going to go all the way. I'm not doing it right now, I'm just showing you. So you're going to, do these 2 rows all the way up to the end. And then you're going to take the A and you're going to cap the center, the 3rd row, including this first one right here. Okay? So you're going to go cap each one of these, except for the last one. You're going to want to double cap that, but we'll wait and I'll show you how I do that. And I'm just taking 2 bands and doubling them over. So this is what you're going to do while I'm gone. These are A9, all the way up these 2 rows, and then cap, single cap, just 1 band, all the way up till the last one, which I'll show you how to do that one a little differently, okay? I hope that wasn't too much for you to take in all at once, but as you can see, I just placed bands A9, the color A, step 9, up the 2nd and 4th bars, and then I just single band, capped, double it over and capped all these posts, including the very first one. Now we are ready to cap this one, but since I'm doing the double thick extension, and I don't think my hand's strong enough, my fingertips keep splitting open, and it's a real pain when you're trying to play with these little bands. Finally got to see my 2nd dermatologist, and what a day and night difference. Thank you God, what a blessing she was. She was so thorough and so compassionate and so caring, and actually gave me some medicine that at least stopped some of this cracking. This is the first day in a week, but hopefully my hands will slowly but surely get better. It's been like this since the end of March, so I can't expect it to go away overnight. But thank you for all your concerns, and I really appreciate that y'all are so kind and considerate and just have such beautiful hearts. So now we are ready to turn this around and start our looping sequence. The first thing we are going to do, I know, I'm confusing myself. We're going to not start with this. We're going to start up with the, well, it's the 3rd pin, but we didn't use this pin, so it's kind of the 2nd pin that has bands on it. We're going to reach inside the cap, grab the A color, which this was what, A8, and we're just going to bring them out to their home pins. Hey, I really like seeing some of your designs that you are taking the bands to their non-home pins. Great that people are giving that a try. I'm not making claim that I came up with it, but I hadn't seen it done. The 50, 75 bands, bracelets that I did from like Christmas time through January. And I just started playing around with that. I mean, I'm probably not the first, but I didn't see it done before. But if you all know me and my designs, I'm kind of an atypical type designer, and I don't think there's any set rules when it comes to creating. So I venture off when I feel the impulse. And you guys have taken that to beautiful, beautiful levels. So impressed. But anyways, this is just your standard. I should probably have taken a break instead of just going on, but yeah, I wish I could, go by name. Again, I know Looming Roach did some of that on the Reese bracelet, and I know Jay's Alvarez, he's done it, and I know others have too, and I'm sorry. Okay, this is the last one, and we will be I don't really think I needed to do that one here, but you know what? It's done. What can I do? Because it's actually copying that one. I wonder if I should take those out. Oh, should I take that out? You know what? I'm going to go off camera and think about this for a second, but I might delete these two bands. I'm having an afterthought. So I will be right back, okay? Please be patient. I'm just a designer trying to figure things out as I go along. Alrighty, I just made the executive decision. Let's turn this back around as you would, you know, with the arrows pointing away. And since I realized I needed to have a color going down here to fill in the gap, or, you know, get rid of this big blob of solid color here, I won't be using, I can take these pinks off right here. It was that first, you know, when we, the A8 went V, we kind of V'd them all the way up, color A. Now that I put this band, it's just going to be dull. So we're just going to take this off and then put that back on like this. Now those are out of the way. Now this is the one that goes first, and then this one would go on top of it. So now we're ready to go. That looks a little weird, but I think that's going to be a good call, because there won't, I mean, we've got these bands here and then these, and this will get stretched out when we loop these bands under, loop these bands out. So yeah, I think that's going to eliminate all that clump of one color. Designing is a never-ending process. So instead of starting the whole video over, I think you guys followed that and it wasn't too difficult. So if you're confused, just rewind and watch it a couple of times if you need to, but it's really simple. It was really simple to take those bands out. So we've looped out band A8 from the center to their home post. Now we are going to go to band D7, which is this one right here, the gold, and reach down our double cap here, find it, and you're going to loop it out to its home pin. And you're going to do that all the way up. These are much easier. And you're going to want to keep pushing this the bands down, because there's a lot of looping to these posts on rows 2 and 4. These are nice and easy, right there to grab, right out in the open. Unlike when we have to loop these, those are much more difficult. I had so much trouble finding them, but I will show you my little trick that I use that helps make it a simpler process. Again, keep pushing that down. I forget sometimes, but a lot of bands going on that. And I really, really like this bracelet because it's different. It's different than, you know, my more traditional lacy ones, or straightforward design. This bracelet has a lot of texture to it, and it's one of those kind of like fun to play with in your hands because it feels cool. It's all the lumps. Of course, I'm not going to call it lumpy. What was I going to call it? I was going to call it something that had to do with like a retrieval. I wasn't calling it retrieval, but you know, when you come back from a mistake. I can't think of the word right now. You find a way to correct something. Should have called it lemonade. I felt when I pulled it off and saw how nice it looked, when I was just trying to keep the dang bracelet intact, so I could at least get an idea of what the design was coming out, was going to look like, and then I would fix it on my next try around, and it's like, wow, I like this. It feels cool. And like I said, I don't know if I said it on this one. I might have said it on my last tries. When my 11-year-old Olivia saw this, she had called dibs on this. She really liked it so much, and that's saying a lot because I gave her pretty much almost all the bracelets I made when I was learning to loom, and she hasn't really wanted too many of my own designs. I think she's kind of over the whole bracelet thing, but she wanted my petals bracelet, which I didn't give her that one, but I'm going to make her a replica, and I'm giving her that one when I'm done this tutorial. Okay, back to business. Now we are going to loop B2, which, actually the blacks are my B color, and these are the C, so these are B2 and B. The whites are the C4s. I'm probably confusing you with all this. And these were the B2. Anyways, you're just going to take the last bands on these center posts and loop them out to their home pins. And like I said, you got to keep pushing it down because we've still got more bands going on. Thought I forgot to turn the camera back on from my last break. This is one of these bracelets. There's a lot of steps in it, and it's kind of boring just watching me go through and do it all. Especially when you kind of have to sit and look at your room while you're doing it, and once you get the hang of it, you don't have to see me do it every step of the way. So, and it gives me a chance to sit back and not have to sit upright. I have orthostatic intolerance, which makes the blood pressure goes down really low and the heart rate goes up really high when I'm sitting upright, or especially standing. I can hardly stand upright without wiggling my legs around. And sitting upright for any length of time is hard, so it's nice to kind of just lean back against the back of my sofa and put my feet up here on the table. Gets the blood flowing back to my heart. So okay. Now we did that. Okay, now this is the tricky part here, and I will show you how to do it, and then I'm going to get off camera and finish it. This first one, we're going to loop the A, which was A9, bands, color A, step 9, and placement. This one's easy. It's very loose, but that's okay. And for whatever reason, I have a lot of trouble finding the band. I can't tell which one it is. So I go off to the side and I just look for it. It's much easier to see it, and then see I'm stretching it, you can see it moving. Bring it forward. So you just pull all of them back. Grab that it's the second to the last one on the bottom. There's another A colored band underneath that, so you don't want to grab that one. And I think that's what happens is I go digging in there and I reach for it. It's hard to see which one's the second to the last one from straight on. So that's how I do that. Let me show you on the other side. This is the exact same, except on the opposite side. So this first one is very loose. That's okay. And then if you need to, oh no, I got too many. Oh, ah. Yeah, it's probably going to look a little funky in there. See, I have so much trouble with this one. But you won't, because you guys are awesome. And if you do, well, it's only the one bit. This is the only band that's kind of problematic as far as getting up. So anyways, that's how you do those, just straight up all the way to this last one. Hi there, I just made a big whoops, and make sure I put a caption in beforehand, but I had instructed you guys to take the 8 color bands, loop them up rows 2 and bars 2 and 4, but I had forgotten to do this last band here, so I had to put those back. So fortunately I hadn't done it on this side, so this is okay. I had to back up a couple of these bands here. So hopefully I didn't screw this up too much. I hope it'll still be in the right sequence, as long as it doesn't fall apart, right? So anyway, sorry about that, but I'm going to go off camera and finish looping my A9 bands up this side. But I wanted to get that in and correct myself. Okay, hopefully I haven't messed you all up too much, because I had forgot to loop back. Those were new bands, so you know, I forgot that I had to do those too. And I've got my little note to make sure I make a caption for it on my tutorial, so that you can get a heads up on that. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is this one is called D6, color D, band placement 6. We're going to reach in, find that little guy. That's not it. It might, or it is, and I'm just not getting it right. There we go. So we're going to do this on both sides, all the way up. Very basic. It's a little tight, and I coax it out. You know, even if you can't get it all the way, there's a lot of bands on these pins right here. I'd rather have it look like this than a perfect teardrop, if that means preventing it from breaking. So I don't think there's much to really show you. Just reach in there and make sure you find it. Put everything back until you get to that band. Don't get tangled up. Come on. Okay, so you're going to do that. Come on. All the way up to these last two here. Alrighty, I hope you'll get all of those D bands. The D6, I'm sorry. I think I said the D7 or D6. Those D bands out to the side. So now we are going to reach down in here, and we're going to be taking these bands right here. Now when you look either from this side, see there's this one right here, that's my whoops band, and we will come to that later. It's, you know, each one of those. If you look at it from this side, you can see the white band, see underneath that. See, it's right there. Okay, and that's, you know, wasn't looped, so every time I pulled it, the bracelet off, the segment I was practicing off, it all unraveled, so I will fix that for you. It's innovative at the moment, but now it's just another way to loom up your bands. So when you pull open, you'll see the one that goes around, that's on the bottom, and you'll see this angled one. You're grabbing that angled one. So open it up, grab just this one right here, and bring it back to its home base, home pin rather. And you're going to do that all the way up to this black band here. Don't worry about the border, that's for last, but up to this band here, and then you will do the same. Why is it acting weird? I must have goofed on something. That did not look right. Anyways, I'm going to play around and double check that one. Maybe it's just trapped amongst the other ones, but you're just going to reach and grab this one and bring it back to its home and do that all the way up to this last one right here. Alrighty? Great. Okay, the final step we are going to do before we do the perimeter is to reach in and see this little one here that's kind of naughty little band Debbie didn't figure out before she got herself committed. So you're just going to reach in and grab that, and this is what I was doing on my little section there, just so I what do I do so these don't fall off? So I said, well, let me just stick them over here, just so that they would be hanging on, and then I could determine if it was a design that I wanted to pursue correcting, and I wound up liking it. But where are you? There you are. But with all things that we all think are innovative, somebody in another part of the, okay, what do I do with this one? So this one doesn't work here, so your situation here, because I did not have this part resolved. Okay, that one's going there. How's that? It should go here. Let me see what I do. I think that's going to be weird. What do I... Okay. Another executive decision. Should I go here or here? You know what? I'm going to take it over here because that's what I was doing. I was bringing them all. It's probably going to look really weird, but we will find out. Okay. I changed the design as I was going along here, and now I got myself into trouble. I think I messed up the gold band on that, so I think this black one will hold everything together. Let's hope. This is a lot of work to have it all fall apart. So I'll just do this with you guys. This is an unusual step. But it darn held it all together, and I wound up liking it. It's got a cool name, CRATER. My daughter also liked that name over the other one. I don't know if I was going to call it Rectify or some name. Okay, this one. Bring it out. Make sure you bring it out from around that and over there. And hopefully that won't look too weird when we're done. Talk about designing on the fly. Just winging it. Let's hope it's worth it, right? You guys guys, I can hear you guys. Oh, Betty, what are you getting me committed to? All this work and you don't know where you're taking us? Nope. But I'm hoping the end result will look better than the big, you know, will look better than that. Because this design is really cool except for that. Oh my gosh, my eyeballs keep going cross. I think I've been doing this for too long tonight. This is a fairly tedious. Anyways, you know what? You're going to, you know, go all the way up, take this one to here and this one to here, and if you're not sure, stop at that one, and then you can also do the same on this side. Just your basic, bringing up the perimeter. Reach all the way down, grab that A color on the bottom, and you go all the way up to here, and if you feel comfortable, look for this one to this one, and this one, so everything ends up there. Okay? And I will be back. So now we have our perimeter all finished up to here, and then we are just going to take this one here, grab this bottom one, there it goes, right to the middle, and then do the same for this one. And that one there. I'm having trouble. I mean, it's like the simplest one. There we go. Alright. Now we are ready to do the extension, and I will be doing a double extension. And I've got one of the larger clips since it will be so thick. And I placed 2 here. So we're going to reach all the way in here and grab those 2, that, place them on the hook, and then I am going to very carefully, I'm going to turn this around, grab 2 bands, pull it through, turn it around so it stays on the hook, and I'm going to keep doing this. This is definitely harder to do than the single. It's a lot more risk of getting them all crisscrossed. But I did it! Hooray! Like 1, 2, 3. I think that's enough. So I'm going to stretch that out nice and taut. Clip goes on very easily, and now we can take off this bracelet, and hopefully Debbie didn't mess it all up by changing things midstream. And it takes a little longer, but my fingertips, they keep cracking, splitting open, especially this thumb, and the medication, the ointment that my new dermatologist gave me has really helped cut that back. Before it was so many of my fingertips, and it's really, really hard to put pressure on open cuts like that. So that's why I do this more often than you can either do this with your fingers or, you know, pull off here. It's I have my hands, alright, even though they might be a little pain in the butt. Excuse me, a little bit of a pain in the pain. Hey, I'm feeling the pain, and that's a good thing. I have hands that can be painful. So I keep reminding myself that so I don't get lost and woe with me. Just a little irritating, that's all. I'm mostly irritated that it's like nobody can figure out what the heck's going on. What's causing it and how to fix it. I mean, they had me on prednisone the first time and that started making it go away right away. But you know what prednisone does to you? It makes you gain so much weight so quickly. Wow. That's pretty. I like using all the metallic bands, but I like this that I just used one of them. And also, this band tightens up overnight. If it feels a little loose, you know, they're still kind of in shock from being stretched. Overnight, they kind of pull themselves back together, and like this one, it's really tight. This one's, you can see it's wider, and these are a little loose, but it does tighten up overnight. And this is the reverse side, which, again, I don't think is anything spectacular. I like this. I always like gold and pink. I think it's so pretty. Okay, let's finish her up. I'm not going to have enough. I have to reach down and find my box of pinks and reds. Excuse me. I've had just enough of this color. I mean, I have the other light pinks too, but they're all a little different, and that bugs me. Like the pastels, real quick here. No, but the pastels, they had these and these. Oh, can you tell? But they're different colors. This is kind of a purpley, and look, this is a totally different. Figured, are they supposed to be the same pink or what? But to me, you know, some people say, oh, you put them, you know, together, you won't notice it. But I'll remember in my head that I put different shades of pink on, even if it's slightly, and that's where my, I learned, I followed this lady, I took lessons from her in oil painting, and she just had a way of mixing colors, and literally, she would change the whole look of the color, but just adding literally, she called pinpoint, just little teeny drops. She'll put like a blob, you know, one blob of one color, half a blob of another, and a pinpoint of another, and it just completely changes the look of the color. And so after knowing her for years and taking lessons with her and have learned the art of mixing colors from her, which I'm very rusty on because it's been years since I've done any oil paintings, I see the subtle changes of color, and it bugs me when people try to say they're the same. I know, the great matters a lot. So, I'm not paying attention to instructing you here, but it's the basic, traditional, standard extension, which I think I probably should have done this one full length because I really like the colors. It totally reminds me, in 1964, when my parents were building their own home, a couple lots up from where we lived in Connecticut, had a pink, black, and white kitchen. It had the pink appliances. I was only 4, but I totally remember that kitchen because of the pink appliances, and it was so cool, like the black and white checkered floor, and I think the maple cabinets, and so those had a little bit of a gold hue in it. So yeah, this reminds me of that kitchen from our neighbor's house in Connecticut. Little old ranch built in the 50s with pink appliances. Very cool. So, here you have it. CRATER. My accidental design, which I wound up really liking, even though it was a mistake. And if you like this, let me know on YouTube, of course, in the comments section. And if you want to see more of my upcoming designs, I will get back on board. Feel free to subscribe to Deb's Thing, and then you can follow me on Instagram, also Deb's Thing, but without the apostrophe, you know, at Deb's Thing. And let me know what you think. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial, and let me see what you made. I absolutely love seeing the incredible color combinations you all come up with. You make my color selection's pale in comparison, and it's very impressive. Thank you so much for watching.